My HOA will learn that I absolutely live by the letter of the law. My HOA recently changed the rules limiting the amount of vehicles allowed in my driveway. I collect cars, all of which run, drive, and are registered and insured, and my household also has 4 licensed drivers. When I moved in, the rules stated, only 1 Class C vehicle allowed per driveway. Well, that was fine by me. Since Class C vehicles don't exist, Class C vehicles were not defined in the HOA rules either. I assume whoever wrote that rule assumed since they had a Class C license, standard cars and trucks must be Class C. So I moved in, and after stuffing 2 cars, 4 motorcycles and my camper in my garage, I placed 5 vehicles in my driveway. The letters came. I was quickly able to deflate them after asking them for the legal definition of a Class C vehicle. No fines paid. Fast forward about a year, and the HOA proposed a rule change, now stating 3 vehicles per driveway maximum, since 3 is more than 1. And people lack critical thinking skills. It was passed with over 85% support. Fine. 3 vehicles it is. I did some digging and found the streets in my HOA were turned over to the city. An effort to avoid having to foot the maintenance bill, I'm sure. And as such, the HOA had no authority to stop people from parking on a public street. So I moved 2 vehicles my very narrow street, 1 in front of my house, and 1 directly across the street in front of my neighbor's house. Now, the only vehicles that could safely drive past my home were motorcycles and the 1 guy with a smart car. It was glorious. My street is a main artery into and out of the neighborhood. Lots of U-turns and backtracking for folks to get home or to work. They are the ones who did the rest of the work for me. Complaints and calls to the HOA president resulted in another rule change vote. Now my driveway is open to any amount of legally registered vehicles. It fits 9. I need more cars. I'm kind of surprised that last part worked. You can certainly park on a public street, but not usually in such a way that you block said street. Had a similar issue with my HOA. They decided that I couldn't park my truck with a trailer on the street in front of my house. Sent me a fine notice. I responded that I was parked legally and they couldn't regulate city streets. They stated that there was a state law that let HOAs manage streets in their community, but they skipped over the part that it only applied to gated communities where they did the maintenance. Got a letter from the director of parking for the city stating that only the city could regulate parking and that a truck and trailer was legal for 72 hours and then had to be moved, but there was no distance rules on how far it had to be moved. They shut up quickly. My favorite first step of dealing with HOAs is to look up their license registration. This differs by location, but in my area it is a legal requirement for HOAs to be registered annually. If they are not, nothing they request is legal. My HOA has a rule that you can only have 8 pet legs in your home. So, 2 normal cats or 2 normal dogs. Are 2 3-legged quadrupeds plus 1 bird? 1 quadruped plus 2 birds? 8 1-legged birds? How many snakes? Viwa ha 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 ha. My street is a main artery. Clogged arteries are not a good thing. Source: my cardiologist. I hate the idea of HOAs. It seems every story is about petty people using them to try to control others. 9 cars in a driveway? Sounds huge. What kind of a garage do you have that fits 2 cars? 4 motorcycles and a camper? And then a driveway that fits 9 cars? Sounds like an awfully large property to be in a neighborhood in HOA. HOAs are crazy to me. People being like, there is a maximum amount of vehicles allowed on your own property, seems insane. To me. Well, congrats on beating the law, but I'm glad you aren't my neighbor. I think I can speak for a large portion of fellow Redditors, but fuck HOAs. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. I am trying to picture a house with a big enough driveway to fit 9 cars but a small enough road where only 2 cars would block it. I mean, good for you truly for standing up for your lifestyle, hobby and for enjoying the vehicles. Now having said that, boy oh boy do I not understand it and wouldn't want to look or live by your parking lot house. Nice compliance. But lots of collateral damage. Unless of course, you don't care about the neighbors anyway. I get where you're coming from. I hate HOAs with the fury of 1,000 suns. But blocking the street seems like a dick move and unnecessary. Regardless, you must be a nightmare of a neighbor with all those vehicles. Man, that would piss me off. Why make it so difficult for your neighbors to live their lives? This may be the first time on here I haven't been rooting for the person taking on the WA. Just seems like a guy who thinks he's found a reason to be a jerk to all his neighbors. Yada, what if an emergency vehicle needed access on that main road? But you really showed them. While I'm all up for good MC, I personally can't wrap my head around owning more vehicles than people living in the house can drive. That's just a me thing though. You do you. Good MCER.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Heracast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.